everybody, me and Buster Green here. So a lot of people expect me to review robot content. That's just kind of been an ongoing theme lately. And here's my better late than never review of Transformers Rise of the Beast. So, quick backstory, I saw this movie the day it came out, which was like middle of June 2023. But then I had a lot of personal drama in my life this summer. And on top of that, I decided to take a summer break. I did some swimming. And more than anything, what really took me the longest to finish in this review is I got really hung up on the fact that they've made like fucking 7 of these goddamn movies and they still can't keep the goddamn Transformers names, their appearances, or their personalities and identities consistent from each movie to each movie in this fucking franchise, which drives me insane. Like, just get the freaking names right. That's the bare minimum of giving a shit about these characters. Like, if this guy's Wheeljack in this movie, he should be Wheeljack in the next movie. Not there should be a new character also named Wheeljack. Also, this is like the second Mirage we've got, which is also fucking confusing. Anyway, I got hung up on that a lot, so that is something I'm going to have to very carefully explain in this review. Alright, so 2 months ago. Today I saw Transformers Rise of the Beast. I can't say it was the best Transformers movie, but it was definitely not the worst either. There were enough long-term followers of my channel who give a shit about Transformers robots, and you know what? I feel like I'm required to review this movie for them. So here you go, guys. I'm going to review this 7th Transformers movie. Yes, this is somehow the 7th goddamn Transformers movie. Now, technically, a lot of people don't count Bumblebee as a Transformers movie because the name of the movie was not Transformers Bumblebee. It was just Bumblebee. So if I say this is the 6th movie instead of the 7th, please forgive me. Now, before I get into it, this is my first time really digging into any of the Transformers movie, and I guess I have to start with a brief recap of the previous ones, because the first 5 Transformers movies are a complete, like, train wreck of a mess. They were made by Mogul Bay. One of them didn't even have a script. And, okay, now, the first one's pretty good. That's the main reason they made so many, because the first one made like $1 billion, but then the second one came out. The second one's the one with no script. It was made during the 2009 writer's strike. I hope to hell there's not another writer's strike anytime soon. I wrote this 2 months ago, can you tell? Anyway, it had to be a weird improvised plot to, you know, fill the movie, and they filled it with penis jokes. And the big spectacle at the end of the movie was supposed to be Devastator because everyone loved Devastator, but instead of Devastator, it was just a giant penis joke. So yeah, that's Transformers 2, penis jokes. Anyway, then Transformers 3 came out, Dark of the Moon. I officially did not care for this one. This was the last time Shia LaBeouf was, persona non grata in his last appearance. And if I remember right, this was the last theatrical appearance of Leonard Nimoy, oddly echoing the death of the great Orson Welles, who was the voice of Unicron in the original Transformers movie. Also, speaking of Unicron, I think this is the first movie where they started implying that Unicron was eventually going to show up in these movies as a big end-of-the-world final boss. So, then after that came Transformers Age of Extinction, which badly shoehorned in the Dinobots, and also Galvatron, and this movie could pretty much be called Transformers China DLC, because it was produced essentially for China, taking place in China, and with some real questionable motives and like weird movie logic on the historical record of China's like dominance of the world, right up there with Iron Man 3, the China Cut, where Tony Stark praises China's superior healthcare infrastructure. And you know what? This movie pissed the shit out of me. It wasn't a China thing. It was the fact that they implied the Dinobots all died or something, and then they all came back to life with like no rhyme or reason. And then they also gave the Dinobots a second origin story to explain how they came back, which completely conflicted with the first origin story. And this again reeked of bad movie writing. It reeked of like 2 separate movies combined together without anyone paying any attention to like how good they were. And then that was thankfully the last Michael Bay movie. No, wait, there was one more. The last one was Transformers The Last Night, a movie I barely remember where Optimus Prime like turned evil or something, but then he turned back to good at the end and he flew off to outer space to fight Unicron. I don't know. There was some more bullshit about King Arthur actually being a Transformer or something, and there was even more propaganda about how the Chinese are overwhelming masters and the one master race of the earth. Go China. Anyway, so this one jumped the shark, and thankfully they started over with this. And yeah, so then there was supposed to be a big root split where Michael Bay would still make Transformers movies and we would get Transformers 6, which would follow up Optimus in space fighting Unicorn or Unicron. But then Bumblebee got his own movie set in the 80s, and that was a whole other arc on the tree. So yeah, Bumblebee came out. And much to everyone's surprise and delight, I think that was kind of the best Transformers movie, maybe tied with the first one, because that movie started off with some pure unbutchered splendor of all the Transformers getting together to fight the Decepticons. And it was pretty much as close as we ever got to the dream of the perfect, unfucked up Transformers movie. Now after that wicked cool Transformers action, we got a down-to-earth rom-com between Bumblebee and cute girl Haley Steinfeld, and she's now Spider-Gwen's VA. But anyway, it took place in the 1980s. They defeated some Decepticons. John Cena acted like a jerk. He made a huge misunderstanding. And yeah, Bumblebee was an alright movie. The first 3 minutes of Bumblebee is probably better than all 5 Michael Bay movies put together. And unfortunately, now we are finally at that Transformers 6 we were promised. The one that follows up on Optimus flying into space. Except, even more confusing, they changed it so now it's a weak half sequel to Bumblebee. It's set in 1994 because Bumblebee was set in the 80s. And here we go, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Now, I don't hate this movie. I don't love this movie. And I can probably confidently say, after reviewing all 6 Transformers movies just now, that this is probably a little bit better than those last 6, but not by much. I mean, it's still not as good as Bumblebee, but anyway, yeah, this is the Bumblebee sequel, but it also has all that weird DNA from all the weird Michael Bay movies. It has that recycled plot from the unmade Transformers 6 and the previous setup that they slowly set up through the 3 movies, that we're going to get a long-awaited battle between Optimus Prime and Unicron, because even in Transformers the movie, Unicron killed Optimus Prime on the spot, and Optimus Prime died like a bitch, and then Rodimus Prime had to fight fucking Unicron. So this is like a fucking lifelong grudge match of Optimus Prime versus Unicron, which is something we've never fucking seen before, because Unicron killed Optimus Prime. Now this movie shoehorns badly in the plot of Beast Wars, and it just fucking butchers it. In the way that Transformers 4 with the Dinobots butchered the Dinobots, this badly butchers Beast Wars. So bad. And I gotta let you guys know, as much as I love and respect Transformers G1, the original Transformers, Beast Wars is my favorite Transformers show of all time. Lil Karibo's watching Beast Wars, he recognizes how good that shit is. And even though I saw and loved the original Transformers when I was a baby, I was a fucking baby. So by and large, now that I'm a man, I realize that Transformers just wasn't as good as I remember it being. But Beast Wars is still as good as I remember it being. Because I want to say, and I was a 7 or a 10-year-old, I read Transformers the movie from Blockbuster, and that movie was insane. Optimus Prime, Unicron kicked his ass, Unicron was there, Unicron was a big fucking planet, Unicron was a morbidly obese Orson Welles, Weird Al was there. It was a major mindfuck of a movie. And then after that, Beast Wars. Beast Wars dropped right around the time I was in 5th grade, and I was not initially thrilled about it because it had bad CGI. It had that CGI from Reboot. It had no cars, and quite frankly, you know what? Cars are the best part of Transformers. But over time, I watched it every day, and I got into it because Beast Wars was very heavy metal war is bad shit. So anyway, this movie butchers Beast Wars. It just sets up that the Maximals existed. They had this long-term beef with Unicron and his generals, and then the Maximals all go to Earth because they have the transport key. And it's implied that the Maximals had fought the Predacons and won already, so this is technically a Beast Wars sequel. But the biggest mindfuck of this movie is there's no fucking Predacons. I was so psyched to go in this movie and see Megatron 2 finally in these movies, but no, he's not there. All we get of Beast Wars of the bad guys is a soulless robot Scorpion at the start of the film. Now, I thought this was Scorpionox from the trailers, but yeah, shocker, it's not. It's just a dumb Scorpion drone. It's not a Predacon. It's not Megatron. You don't see Dinobot. You don't see Waspinator. You don't see Metal Shark Player. There's none of that shit. Although, apparently the wiki says that the soulless robot Scorpion actually is Scorpionox, but that doesn't count when there's 20 of him and none of them talk. This movie bummed me the shit out. At the same time, this movie extremely nicely fits into the format, and it's kind of like Beast Wars happened. It's kind of like this post Beast Wars story, and that almost makes me forgive it because it still acknowledges Beast War. But wait. Airazor is in this movie. Didn't Airazor die in Beast Wars? Didn't she like die a horrible death, or did she like get fused with like another Transformer? Like something like that. I don't remember Beast Wars, but anyway, Airazor's back. She's in this movie way too prominently, and she immediately dies again. So, lol, Airazor can't survive in this world. Also, Rhinox is in this movie too, and I don't like him anymore because there was a sequel to Beast Wars where he did like mad, evil, fucked up shit. So yeah, I just like can't forgive him. Anyway, alright, so in short, this movie is trying to do a redo of Beast Wars, and I was hoping we would get like a recap of Beast Wars, but like set in the present day, but we don't get any of that. It just shoehorns in a bunch of random maximal characters from Beast Wars in the most convoluted possible way, and it's stupid. Now, I should point out that by and large, all these movies are kind of stupid because Michael Bay made them. Michael Bay is not the smartest guy. He's just like, oh, explosions, yeah, oh, boobs, yeah. He's just this big, fat movie director guy, and he doesn't care about the Transformers, so he can't even get the fucking identity straight. Like, that's the bare fucking minimum. If this character is in one movie, you don't put the same character in a different movie with a different name. Like, I presume, like, you have the bare attention to detail that I do to like at least notice that this Transformer was in a previous movie with a different name, and like, yeah, fuck Michael Bay. How can he fuck that up so bad? Like, the only character they consistently get right through all these movies is like Optimus, Bumblebee, and Megatron. Maybe Starscream if Starscream's alive. No, wait, fuck. Bumblebee had Starscream with the wrong name. All of the other characters are a massive crapshoot of maybe they'll get them right, or maybe they won't, or maybe they won't even do anything, or maybe they'll just like fuck it up so much that they'll like roll out 5 different characters as a single character, or they'll roll out 5 different characters as like 5 different characters, and all the way wrong. It's so weird, and it's so wrong, and it's fucking driving me insane. Like, these movies have been coming out for fucking 20 years, and this has been a problem since the first one, and this problem has only gotten worse. It's never gotten better. Like, this problem has never gone away, and it's so prominent now. It's so bad. Like, here's some just glaringly bad examples. Like, these movies are made by Paramount. The same fucking people make Sonic the Hedgehog movies. If the Sonic the Hedgehog movies had this kind of bullshit, when Sonic 3 comes out and they already tease Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be in it, he'd be like, "Hello, Sonic. I'm here to fight you. My name is Fang the Sniper." And yeah, that would drive all the Sonic insane. And that's how I feel being a Transformers fan right now, because this movie is driving you insane. So let's get into the fucking next part of that. So yeah, this is the final movie that we've been waiting 7 movies for, where Optimus Prime finally fights fucking Unicron and he doesn't die like a bitch. And there's like one whole scene of that. It goes on for like 3 minutes. And for the most part, Unicron's just in like space, like waving its fist at Optimus Prime. It's like fat and it's lazy and it's the old ghost of Orson Welles.
Please go there.
Anyway, Unicron's not the villain of the movie. The villain of the movie is fucking Scourge. Now, if you don't remember, this like Scourge, this guy is a villain. He's like a mix of a classic character named Scourge, a mix of another character named Scourge, a mix of an evil Optimus that was also named Scourge, and 90% of the way he's actually Galvatron, but they can't call him Galvatron because in Chinese Transformers 4, there was a bootleg Megatron made by Chinese people that was called Galvatron first, so instead he's Scourge, but he's basically Galvatron. He's got Galvatron's agenda. He's got like the subtle like elements of Megatron's agenda buried in his soul. He's so fucking Galvatron. And ironically, in the 80s Transformers movie, the 3 Unicron robots were Galvatron, Scourge, and Cyclonus. So since Galvatron was done, they just made this guy Scourge. And that would make you think the other guy would be Cyclonus because Cyclonus was a helicopter. And there is a helicopter guy with Scourge, but no, he's not Cyclonus. Cyclonus is nowhere to be seen. This drives me nuts. This is why I don't fucking watch these movies. Like, I think they should have made, like, the other guy Cyclonus because he's at least got a helicopter blade, but they made him a woman, and Cyclonus can't be a woman, so he's made him a new character. Anyway, these are the fucking bad guys, and they can't get the bad guys right. How about if you're gonna fuck up the good guys? Let me go over the good guys next. So, Optimus Prime is in this movie. He gets so little character development. Okay, so here's what they did for him. They recontextualized Optimus Prime as being this, like, racist and jaded leader. He's, like, untrustful to humans. So they gave him this whole arc in this movie where he has this, like, weird perspective because he, like, decided he can't trust the humans. So they made, like, Optimus Prime this, like, flawed and tragic character because he's just been like hurt so much by humanity. But they also kind of made him low-key racist. But don't worry, at the end of the movie, he just gets magically over it. He learns to trust humans, and his whole arc is just going back to classic Optimus Prime, because again, this is supposed to be a prequel for the first movie, so it's all got a status quo back to the first movie. But yeah, I think it's weird that they just gave him this big problem with himself that he has to resolve to just get back to being his normal ass self. Let's talk about the next biggest and most important character in the movie, and it's Mirage, a very weird version of Mirage. Now, this is technically the second time Mirage has been in a Transformers movie. There was a red guy in Transformers 3, that guy was Mirage 2. Or was he? Actually, they changed his name at the last second to Dino because no one fucking cares. So weird, was this guy Mirage or was he Dino? Is there actually a Transformers named Dino? I don't think so. Michael Bay fucks this shit up all the time. He can't get the fucking details right. So anyway, this new Transformers movie comes out, and in a slightly more thought out way, this movie was supposed to present us with a completely accurate Gen 1 version of Mirage, just like the old cartoon, but then they promptly threw that all out to stunt cast Pete Davidson. Oh, Peter Davidson. Yeah, seriously, by all accounts, all reports, the character was fully animated, fully done, and it had like the voice of like a nobody, but they threw all that away to bring in Pete Davidson, and by God, Pete Davidson did acting that was so great that they had to redo the character. Now, sidebar conversation, let's talk about Pete Davidson. By and large, I've never liked this guy. I don't think he's worked a day in his life until this movie came out. Now, this ended up being a very interesting move for this movie because, by and large, I don't think any of the actors in this movie really, like, tried very hard in this movie, except for, like, you know, Optimus and probably Pete Davidson. And you know what? I'll give Anthony Ramos a pass. He plays the human lead, and he's trying his hardest because he's playing lead in a Transformers movie, and by all accounts, he may never play the lead in another, like, A-budget movie again. But anyway, yeah, quick side story about Peter Davidson. Prior to this movie, I do not like Pete Davidson. He was a weirdly tragic comedian with a dramatic, horrible childhood. His dad died in 9/11 and he almost committed suicide, but he got over it. And then at age 20, he got gifted a dream job. He got gifted a job on SNL out of complete freaking nowhere. And the last time this happened to anyone, it happened to Eddie Murphy, and Eddie Murphy became the greatest comedian of all time. Now, Pete Davidson, no offense, he's no goddamn Eddie Murphy. Now, in his run on SNL, he was so sub-average, so uninteresting, and his greatest accomplishment of the past decade was not that he did anything on the show, but that he managed to bag numerous billionaire women and take them to bed in the summer breaks between the shows. In short, Pete Davidson never became famous as an actor. He became famous as a Hollywood F-boy, and, you know, that's not very respectable. Now, recently and intriguingly, Davidson finally retired from SNL because he was barely on the show anymore. He had no good characters, and like any time I can remember him being on the show, he just showed up as his completely unimpressive and lazy self to like say some like crap about Staten Island. Now, SNL has always been the most interesting kingmaker in America because SNL makes or breaks people. Theoretically speaking, people are either on SNL or they're off SNL, and when they're off SNL, they only leave SNL to become either movie stars or failures. It's a super, super vicious like deal breaker decider of are you going to be the next Bill Hader or are you going to be the next Joe Piscopo? And Davidson left SNL in 2022. And that brings us to the current year, the year of our Lord 2023. This is Pete Davidson's make or break year for history to deem him an honest to God movie star or a sad and broken has-been deaf boy. And I hate to say it, but god damn it, Peter did it. In this single movie, not only does he redefine himself as a Hollywood movie star, but Davidson's take on Mirage was based on the manic roles done by Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey in the 90s, and it totally works. Davidson ends up being the most interesting goddamn character in the movie. The only actor who seems to be happy to be in this movie. Like, there are so many, like, A-list actors in this movie, and they're doing the bare minimum. You can tell they're bored to death doing this job. Like, Ron Perlman plays Scourge. I didn't even recognize him. Like, that popular lady who won all the Oscars, like, Everything Everywhere All at Once is in there. And you never fucking care. Like, these, like, actors, like, completely phoned it in. They were like, Transformers 7. give me $7, ha ha ha. Like, they just, like, do their roles and they, like, clock out and eat them Doritos. Like, Davidson as Mirage, though, that's a career-defining role for him. Like, that's the first time I have, like, given a shit about Peter Davidson. Like, that's the first time he was like, I matter. And I was like, you know what, Pete Davidson, maybe you do matter. Like, I don't know if this movie's going to make him any more famous, but I would say that his out-of-control rock star performance as Mirage pretty much single-handedly saves this movie. Like, he makes Mirage into this, like, asshole wild man, and he does the best he can with it, and in the end, it works. Now, moving on, the next biggest character is Anthony Ramos. Anthony Ramos is this, like, tortured Puerto Rican ex-Navy SEAL main character, and he's got to, like, get a job for his main brother, child actor, sad guy kid. It works. Like, again, I still have to hate that fucking every protagonist in a movie has to be an ex-Navy SEAL, but whatever, it works. Although, I kind of rage at the fact that his brother has a Game Boy and he's, like, complaining that he can't fucking beat Bowser in Mario Land. Newsflash, you fucking movie that can't get any fucking details right. Bowser is not in fucking Mario Land, you fucking casual gamers. The villain of fucking Mario Land is Tatanga! Tatanga, for fuck's sake! Beat the goddamn game, you fools! At the end of the game, Bowser is nowhere to be found. It's fucking Tatanga in a fucking mech suit. You goddamn fools! Mario gets in the sky pop and he shoots Tatanga with so many bullets. That's the only game where fucking Mario unloads a clip of bullets into the final boss. Mario Land is a fucking masterpiece! Fucking Michael Bay! Get some fucking shit right! Anyway, back to praising the positive aspects of this film. This goddamn film. Moving on to the other characters in the film. Alright, so Dominique Fishback. Has anyone ever heard of Dominique Fishback? I guess she's got a fish on her back. Anyway, she plays a nameless archaeologist. She's helpful in the course of the movie because she has this, like, basic background in archaeology. She also has this basic idea of how the Maximals work and basic idea of how the Unicron key thingy works. Anyway, what I'm getting at is she is very, very basic. Now, in a standard movie, you usually have like a handsome man and a handsome woman. You know, the old Transformers have like Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. Megan Fox, a sexually appealing female character with like the boobies popping out of her shirt. Or, you know, like after like Megan Fox like became like persona non grata, they replaced her with like some, you know, basic normal girlfriend character. You know, Haley Steinfeld, adorable character. But, okay, Dominique Fishback, she's attractive enough, but there's zero romantic chemistry between her and Ramos. Like, I get that they, like, care for each other enough that they, like, don't want each other to die, so, like, they save each other from a few death traps or, like, a snake here and there. But otherwise, they have so much non-chemistry that it's fucking insane. Like, they keep doing this weird stuff together throughout the movie, and it's not even like they're friends. I guess they have, like, a basic co-worker camaraderie. Anyway, Ramos is helping the Autobots because Mirage promises to scam him some money so he can use the scam money to pay for his brother's healthcare. And Dominique has, like, no stake in this movie. She actively abandons her job. She has zero reason to help the Maximals, other than, like, the vague sense that she could die if she doesn't. Like, her base level knowledge that the Maximals, if they lose, will, like, get the planet eaten by Unicron. But, like, literally, her character is, like, so unutilized in this movie. Like, all her plot beats could have literally been done by Ramos if they had just written Ramos as a smarter character. If he didn't need, like, this girl to, like, tell him what to do, and he was just like, I'll do this myself. Or, like, hell, if even, like, the Maximals told Ramos what to do, like, they could easily explain their culture much better than this girl could, who's just, like, guessing at it based on, like, her archaeology background. But no, they don't tell anyone shit, so that's why she's relevant to the plot. Alright. Yeah. And I didn't even get into the Maximals yet. Oh, the fucking Maximals. The Maximals in this movie are a goddamn character assassination. Now, Optimus Primal shows up, and he does nothing in the movie. He just punches some people really hard. There's no explanation of who he is. There's no explanation of why he's a gorilla. He's played by Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman does no redeeming things with the role. There's no gorilla jokes. There's no King Kong jokes. they just give him this like weird gorilla mentor character, and that character immediately dies to make Optimus Primal so much more tragic. Like, that's his backstory? Okay. Did this character even have a name? Anyway, Optimus Primal basically sets up the plot of this damn movie. He fights in the final battle, and then he gets pushed back by all the other characters. On top of that, we have Michelle Yeoh as Airazor. Airazor is a big, fat, stupid, giant bird. And for some lazy-ass reason, she never transforms into a Transformer, which is a really big part of the Transformers movies. You know, you come to these movies to see things transform into other things. She doesn't do that. She's just a fucking bird the whole movie. What the hell? Why don't you transform? Does her toy transform? I'm looking this shit up. Oh my god, it does! What is up with that? The toy transforms. So cheap. Why is this movie so cheap? Anyway, she's just a big fucking bird who flies around and is like, you need to go over here. You need to go in the pyramid. A complete waste of world's best actress. Oscar award-winning actress Michelle Yeoh. This role is so far beneath her. She just did this to pay her rent. It feels like they just casted her to give this film more legitimacy and to sell it more in China. At the end of the movie, she turns into a zombie, and then everyone like gangs up on her and like shoots her to death. It's so fucking random, it's so fucking senseless, and there are no other zombie Transformers in this movie, so what the fuck even was that? Moving on. Rhinox, Cheater, RC, they're also in this movie. RC at least gets to throw in some token girl power lines, but Cheetah and Rhinox, nah, they don't even fucking talk, so why the fuck are they even in this movie? Toys. They're in this movie to sell toys. Was Rat Trap in this movie? I kind of feel like he was. Maybe he didn't contribute to anything. Maybe he wasn't visually interesting. Am I imagining Rat Trap was in this movie? If he was in this movie, they didn't give him any lines. Like, why did they even fucking bother including any of these characters if they're not giving them any dialogue and they don't contribute to the plot at all? It's stupid toy bullshit, and it's so fucking twisted. Anyway, next twisted character is Wheeljack. Now, Wheeljack is in this movie again for some reason. Wheeljack was in Bumblebee, but in this movie, he looks like he's fucking Mexican Urkel. He looks like a completely different character, and that's baffling because in Bumblebee, he was a complete, perfect rendition of the original Transformers G1 Wheeljack. But in this movie, he's a new stupid character with Wheeljack's name, and for some reason, he needs to wear glasses even though he's a robot. You know, when they make the robots look too much like a caricature of like an old man, that kind of shit pisses me off. Like, they should have just called this character like Glasses or like someone. Like, then I wouldn't be as pissed. Actually, now that I'm looking this up, like, I'm finding out that like people were so pissed about Wheeljack online, they started calling him Pablo. Is that supposed to be an insult? Pablo sounds like a cool name. Anyway, at the bottom of the barrel is John DiMaggio, TV's Bender. Now, he plays Stratosphere, and that's another character that made me completely lose my shit. So you might remember Stratosphere as the crashy old man Transformer who turns into a plane. And you might remember that character previously being in the second Transformers movie, Rise of the Fallen. And the reason you might remember that is because that wasn't fucking Stratosphere, that was actually fucking Jetfire. Because despite these two characters being completely identical, them both having canes, them both transforming into large aircraft from World War II, that's somehow two different characters that look pretty much identical. What the fuck is this logic? Why? Why is it so hyper-specific that they both have canes? What the hell is this shit? This is the kind of shit these movies do that fucking drive me insane. You established Jetfire in Transformers 2. This is a prequel. Why is it Jetfire and why is it Stratosphere? Why are they two completely identical characters? That fucking pisses me off so bad. Alright. This movie is stupid. It's just a stupid movie. Alright, let's go over the plot points of the stupid movie. So the Maximal Steel Unicorn's transwarp key. They send it back in time. Archaeologist girl finds it. She turns it on with her dumb self and resumes the war of the Transformers in the mid-1990s. Anthony Ramos is this down on his luck Puerto with a useless mom, a sick brother, and he needs to get some money or his sick brother is going to die of kid cancer or some other big shit. Diabetes, I don't know what the heck it is. I forgot already. Anyway, for some reason, he just can't get a job. I guess he's been dishonorably discharged from the military because no one takes you seriously unless you're like a former Navy SEAL. Anyway, so he can't get a job in New York City, and everyone just considers him like an insult to America because he left the army, whatever. Maybe that's more racism, but somehow he gets dragged into a life of crime, and he immediately ends up joining the Transformers because Mirage is just so fucking funny. Anyway, so back on the Transformers. Unicron and his goons come to fight the Autobots because they want the Transwarp key because they can use Unicron to like blow up the Earth, and then like Bumblebee just fucking dies for no reason to take him out of the plot, even though he's the main character of the last movie. His name was on the last movie, and you're gonna fucking kill Bumblebee like this? Anyways, then all the characters go to Peru because Peru gifted this movie with a huge tax write-off. They must have gifted them with like a tax write-off as big as the Chinese because this movie is like super sucking up to Peru. They go to like the Peru party, they meet the Maximals. Apparently the Maximals have been living as the secret gods of Peru. Like apparently the Nazca lines were all from the Maximals. And Optimus Prime tells Optimus Primal that humans are evil, and Primal's just like, no, fuck you Prime, you're racist. And Primal's like, what? So then we come to the most interesting part of the movie. Ramos has a chance to destroy the Transwarp key to fuck over Unicron and end this movie easy, but he doesn't because Optimus Prime is just so sad. He's like, but I'll never get home without the key. And Ramos feels sad. And then, anyway, there was this cool ongoing plot thread that Ramos and the humans might turn on Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime is actually completely right to distrust them. That actually kept the movie pretty interesting. And so the movie gets 1 positive point for that. But yeah, so anyway, they fuck around, and then the movie ends, and there's this big massive battle where they fight Scourge, and they fight all his minions. He gets this like army out of Sky Hole. The Sky Hole like opens up, and Unicron's like coming out of the hole. And once again, Unicron doesn't do shit in this movie other than like look impressive. Mirage dies. When he dies, he gives Ramos this anime Iron Man armor. I'm not sure if Mirage turns into the anime Iron Man armor, but it's cool, it's random. Mirage dies a second time, but then he magically comes back to life at the end of the movie because this is a fucking kids movie. And holy shit, you know what? As much as I hated this movie, post-credits teaser at the end of the movie teases G.I. Joe versus the Transformers. And you know what? Fuck, I want to see that. I want to see that so bad. You fucking convinced me. You got me again. God damn you, Transformers. Alright, Transformers The Rise of the Beast is a fucking mess. But you know what? Even though it was a fucking mess, I had more fun with it than like some other recent messy movies. So 7 out of 10. Pros, career best Pete Davidson performance. Go get that Oscar, Pete Davidson. You're on your path. CGI porn of Unicron, fully impressive. Optimus Prime had a cool story about racism, and Ramos was okay. Cons, the movie has too many random throwaway characters for no fucking reason except to sell toys and to check off boxes for like token representation. Also, all the Maximals are horrible in this movie and useless to the plot. This movie fucking assassinates the Maximals down to their characters, and I feel like this movie has like ruined the chance for us to ever get like a good Beast Wars movie, at least like in the next 20 years. So that really upsets me. Like, the more I think about this, I have to wonder if there could be like a better minimalist version of this movie where like the only characters who really have like arcs are like Ramos and Prime and Scourge and Mirage. Because I hate to say it, but maybe on this Transformers movie, there might have been too many Transformers. Like, I barely fucking mentioned Bumblebee because he just fucking dies and he's out of the movie, but that should have been a really big deal, right? I mean, Bumblebee's fucking like beloved, but the movie barely acts like he fucking matters. Like, it just like blows him off and like throws him out in the trash. Like, he was the main character of the last freaking movie, for God's sakes, and you're gonna treat Bumblebee like this? Wow, this movie is like mad disrespect. Anyway, if the next one really is G.I. Joe versus Transformers, that's gonna be some tight shit, and I hope it's better than this one. You know what? If they even have like Cobra Commander up here, that'll be like satisfying enough for me. But God damn it, do these fucking movies right. Like, come on, Michael Bay, do your fucking shit right. I'm disappointed in you. All right, good night. I have to sleep. This review physically made my arms hurt because I'm so angry. Good night.